Welcome back, everybody. Today we're talking about custom servers, an update as it were, and hopefully some solutions to the problems that are happening for custom servers now fully being out for Rust Console Edition for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, next generations, and everything in between. Okay, so we have a lot to cover. So in the interest of you guys finding what you need, and I know everybody's super frustrated right now, we're going to make chapters. You can find it next to the playhead and also in the description down below to help you find solutions to some of the problems that you're having. Things like how to add admin or ownership to your server, what's going on with our server, why things so laggy here and everywhere else. If you're getting stuck on the connection as you join your server, or how to add recyclers, just a quick blurb on that. Gportal status and how this all came about, and an announcement from them. And also a warning about teams if you have team restrictions on your personal servers. So let's break it down. So you might be like, hey Jay, what do you know about struggle? Look at you, you're flying around in your own custom server. You're the worst. Streamer loot. Here's the thing. I'm just like you guys. We had to pay. We had problems. We continue to have problems. RazorTube has 2 servers, and he's been unable to boot either of them for the entire time. So it's like, I think it's just been hit or miss. And I think things are so bogged down with Gportal. It's just that situation. Now, are things getting better? Yes. Did we have problems initially? Yeah, you betcha. I think we had like 13, 16 hours before we got a heartbeat on the server, before it registered. Our settings were weird, and now we like continue to have spurts of lag, which I think most servers have across the board. It's because the hardware needs to catch up. Like, there's just so much server load happening right now. Like, we can have a fantastic connection, but if the server itself is just eating it, yeah, see, we might even crash while we're doing this. That's where there's instability. That's where people are getting just universal lag, but yet everybody's talking to each other. So I think once things balance out with Gportal, things will get a lot better. So I know that doesn't really help. Everyone's like, hey man, I want to get into these custom servers. We've literally been waiting for 2 years. I got you, okay? I got you. So you can always join us if you want to, but here's the thing. Gportal did say, because things have been so rocky, that they're going to credit 2 days to everybody's account, and it may take a few days for that to take place. See, we're actually eating it right now. It'll take about more than a few days for that to actually register. So hopefully that lost time, people do get back and they'll be able to jump into things here. I'm hoping, like, they've been working through the weekend. I'm hoping that this coming week they can really hit it and things will really stabilize. Because to be honest, we ran this through the custom server beta and it was fantastic. We had a few hiccups here and there, but like overall it was awesome. So I'm hoping we can get to that point quickly for everybody else so everybody can experience it the way it was meant to be. So, and I'm hoping between like my experience and RazorTube's experience, and he was sharing some screenshots so we can help everybody else out here. So we're going to try to step through the process itself. Let me see here. So yeah. Oh yeah, let me give you the warning about teams real fast. If you're starting your own server, very popular team setting is solo, duo, trio, team restrictions, right? Well, here's the thing. Since there is so much instability right now, when the servers restart on their own, and they do, just like server, not progression, the team database eats it, which means everybody's locked out of their base, which is an absolute nightmare. So because that's unstable and Gportal's unstable, I basically turned off code lock restrictions for the time being. We still have TC and turret restrictions, but just be advised, if you have a server out there and it restarts on you, you're going to have a lot of requests to open up bases. So just keep that in mind. It's a thing. It's real. So yeah, the Gportal situation is just, it's just been so bogged down, and I think once they add the hardware, I think things will get a lot better for us. I mean, everything kind of points to that, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so our recyclers and the connection status and also how to assign things is all inside of our next phase here, which is a bit deep, so bear with me here. All right, so the best way to do any configuration to buy, purchase, set up, monitor things is with a web browser, and I know a lot of us don't have computers. I get it. But there are some ways around it. I know PlayStation 5 has restricted web browser access. I kind of found a workaround. I don't know if it works for Gportal, but if you send yourself a link in a message to yourself, you should be able to click that link. Wink! So if you put like g-portal.com to yourself on PlayStation 5, I think you'll be able to do what we need to do inside of the portal. I did capture these on my phone because honestly, if you don't have a browser on your console that you can actively use, you're going to have to use a phone or a tablet browser somehow. So I try to do it as mobile as possible so you guys can see what we're seeing and how I set mine up. Again, I think it was luck of the draw that we actually had a server that worked, but by no means is everything running correctly because we're literally eating it. I mean, you saw me right now. I'm like stuttering all over the place. And sometimes the server restarts. I might even do it during this video. Okay, so the first thing I did was you start a G-Portal account, and if you're on Xbox, stay away from the app. I'm sure it's good for other things, but like the stuff we need to do for this, you're going to need to get into a web browser, and the app that they have, G-Portal on Xbox, doesn't have what we need. So because of that, I just rented a PlayStation server even though I'm on Xbox. It doesn't really matter, we're all crossplay anyways, right? So because if you hit the rent Xbox, it takes you to that website and then the application. I don't know, it just takes you in all these unnecessary pathways that you don't need. Just rent PlayStation. It's going to be way easier. And when you do, create an account, then rent PlayStation. Then I went over to, I selected my region. Obviously, I paid for a server. 100 slot is all we have right now, 30 days. It's about 20 bucks for me. And I know they don't have any Oceanic servers yet. It's only, what, East, West, and then Europe. So I know that sucks. And for a while, some of those were actually sold out, which is crazy. And that also tells you just how bad the server load was. It's been insane. To actually overpower a data center is no small feat. So high five to us. All right, so once I did that, and hopefully this all makes sense here, I did move over to these different settings here. So on the left column, once you have your server, you'll see like you have that little sandwich menu, right? The 3 bars in the upper left-hand corner, and you get this splayed menu. It's my server, my settings, and then so on and so forth. You want to go under my servers. Now moving to the center column of the capture there, you can see the server that I rented. It was a PlayStation server. Do you see at the top there? It says Xbox and PlayStation. See? Makes no difference. It's crossplay. It's all going to the same place anyways. And so once you do that, then you click that server, and then you can go and you have other settings once you're inside of that server. So I hit like basic settings. Now, I have a whole video on how to do like a custom server setup and also some of the admin tools. I'll go ahead and link that now in the upper right-hand corner. If you want to go check that out, I'll also include it on the end screen as well. You definitely want to know all of those things there. But this breakdown here is to really help with some of the hiccups and glitches that we've had and just show you the truly mobile way to set this up. So I'm hoping that this all makes sense. All right. Bear with me. I got to make sure I have the right screens here. So once you have... Okay, so right here, there's 2 things going on here. So under your basic settings, which is the left-hand column, there's a huge list of things. Once you have things kind of set up here, when you hit save, you see that it says discard and save. What that's going to do is that's going to restart the server. If you select a preset or a new seed, it will also wipe the server. There's ways to do it inside of status, but also if you change those maps, it's going to wipe the server. So I don't think it wipes the BPs, but it's definitely going to wipe the server. So be advised. Also, when you're like starting this up here, once you make those selections under like basic settings, once you set that in, here's so like on the right-hand side there, and RazorTube was nice enough to actually highlight this for us. It's going to take about 10 or 15 minutes for it to completely build, and a lot of people run into the issue where they're like, hey, it's not running, or like they can join, but then they get stuck. That's because this process hasn't completed, and that's if your server comes all the way up. A lot of people are getting stuck around this phase, but we'll go through that here in a second. So because of that, Razor highlighted right there what happens or what it looks like when your phase is complete. And then you can see under there that that's what it looks like when it keeps going in the infinite loop, but we'll cover that here in a second. So basically what's highlighted in blue, that's how you know it's complete, or make sure you set like a 10-15 minute timer and you're good to go. Okay, and by the way, yeah, we might as well cover it. If you want to add recyclers to your server, and again, we'll have a video on this more in depth, you have to have it during the wipe cycle. You can't do it mid-wipe. It's going to wipe the server. Like, you have to do it while it's building. So because of that, there's presets. So you can see 2 presets right there under custom boot commands. That's where you're going to include those options. For us, we have a bunch. So like right there is Dome Recycler and also Stables. And once you put that in there and you do a wipe and you save it and it boots all the way up. See, we crashed right there. See? Yes, we're still having problems, man. It's crazy. So what you're going to want to do there is, let me go ahead and block that so you guys don't see what's going on. When it rebuilds, it's actually going to put it in predetermined locations. So yes, Double 11 set it up so we have like predetermined areas. So we have like cargo ship, large and small fishing village. What's the other one? Large and small fishing village, dome, and then stables. What's the other one? Did I say cargo ship? Cargo ship is the only one that you don't have to restart, or I'm sorry, wipe the server to get there, if that makes any sense. And what we're going to do here is actually you can see how all this works. By the way, the secret menu for this is Y or triangle, and then you type in Jade or your server name, and then you can find it. And then in my case, we have a bunch of copycats, and it's real easy to find us because we're the ones with the most people. What? Yeah, real easy to find. Yeah, they'll soon find out that it's not just copying a name. You got to actually get it in there. Anyway, so yeah, we have server restarts and everything else. So to go back what we were saying here, by the way, that search menu doesn't show in the main menu, but it's like a secret menu for now under the community tab. So triangle or Y, depending on what system you're on, will get you there. All right, so back to the recyclers here for a second. Once those are in there and you save and everything builds, granted that your server comes back online the way it's supposed to, you will have those recyclers in extra locations. Again, we'll have a whole video on that. Okay, so to kind of back up here, and I know this is a lot all at once, but I wanted to capture these windows because I know there's a lot going on. Let me go ahead and make sure that I'm invincible again. Yay! So actually, you can see one of the recyclers here in Dome. Our server has obviously already done the wipe and stuff days ago. But it's really cool, and they've got presets. Yes, you can spawn recyclers on your own anywhere you want, but this is just really nice. They already have it like set up and stuff. Oh, we have a drop there. Nice. Okay, so when the server, where were we? When you initially start, sometimes like after it builds, sometimes you get stuck in this infinite loop. And again, Razor was nice enough to show us this. It goes into all information zone performing complete, refresh, and then it goes rate limit exceeded, and then it goes to process ended, and then it goes console connection lost, which is not your console, it's actually the server. The console is actually what you're interfacing with here. By the way, you know what? I should probably bring that up, huh? On this menu here, do you see like on the left-hand column how we have status, basic settings, logs, and console? Console's where you're going to do a lot of these different commands. So when you see this here, a lot of times when you're booting, I usually just go to the console window and then kind of just watch this here. So you see that like blue highlighted area? That's all happening inside of the console as well. It's where you put in commands, but it's also where you kind of see like what's going on with the server. So here's the kicker. If you want to add admin or ownership to your server, you have to do it during that phase when it's connected. And yes, even if your server is having a hard time booting, you're going to have to do it in this, like, you see where the blue selection is? You're going to have to do it sometime in there under the console command. So you see how it says like command under there? So in the main menu where it says console, as the server's booting, after you've saved it, right? Okay, so let me back up. I know this is getting confusing. After you do your settings on the left-hand side and you save it, the blue selection is going to happen. While that's happening, then you're going to type in these commands to add yourself as an owner and also as an admin. Here's how this works. So you can actually see the console command there on the left column, and then the center column you can see the owner ID. And here's a lot of people ran into this too, and I get it, because on Xbox we can have spaces. On PlayStation there's not. Well, here's the problem. How do you put spaces in? It actually counts it as just Jade if you put a space in. So what you do is you put in owner ID space, quote, Jade space supremacy, quote, and then enter and then send it. And do it during this blue phase as it's booting. And then you do the same thing for owner and that right-hand column all the way to the right. You're going to do admin ID, quote, Jade supremacy, or I'm sorry, Jade space supremacy, quote. That way it includes everything, weird characters, whatever. It's going to get it all in one shot. So usually when you're adding these things like VIPs or whatever, I usually do them all in quotes just so you don't have any problems. Let's go ahead and make it new again, shall we? So that's how you add the add or assign owner and admin. It's very, very important because you're going to need to know how to do this for yourself. But they do say that you have to add ownership to keep things balanced or to set things up correctly in gPortal. So we did get that word too in the streets. Okay, so on to the endless loop or lost connection. A lot of times when you're on lost connection or it's like stuck on a phase, that usually means this process is not complete, the build phase of the server, what's highlighted in blue, or you're stuck in an infinite loop like this blue selected text where it just keeps going and it's like it's on and then it restarts on its own and then it's on. That's the loop that Razor's currently stuck in. That should be fixed once there's more hardware, there's more balance happening at gPortal. But if you're seeing this, just know you try to add your admin and ownership inside of that build phase and see if it takes. It actually tells you inside of the console when it does take. And if you do, then you just have to wait. What Razor's been doing is about every 12 hours, he'll verify the game files, which is like a 20-minute-ish process that'll actually like reinstall everything, but it keeps all your settings. So that's a good way to kind of give it a nice kick in the old cheeks to see if it's going to come back online. But basically, if you're seeing like process ended, console connection lost, connected, lost over and over again, you're stuck in this infinite loop, which means it's not your fault. Just have to wait. But if you see this and then you see people enter like crazy, then you know that the server's up and running. So you can actually see it right here. Do you see the center and then the right-hand column just above the command window? You can actually see people entering. There's some save going on. Somebody killed somebody else in game. You can see that kind of activity if there's people online. So, you know, keep that in mind. Also, again, I think we covered this earlier, but if you want to find your own server, remember hit Y or triangle until the menu gets updated. That's a way to find it. If you want to find us, it's Jade. Again, the server that has the most people in it. Duh. And if you want to be a VIP, which means queue skip, because things will stabilize here, it's become a channel member and then go to the members only post under my community tab on my channel and then leave your gamer tag or PSN ID. It's a thank you for people that have gone above and beyond, and they get the VIP status. So we add it to all of the servers. Here's the deal, guys. We're going to add more servers, but I don't want to add more servers until things stabilize. And, you know, we're already having a hard time with this one, like staying steady. So we're really trying to get this one good before we add more. We've got a lot more cool options that are going to be added in, but just know our servers are usually loaded with people, which makes it fun.